Discovery and deception. Captain Ilara Voss stared at the endless expanse of stars through the bridge view screen of the Horizon, Earth's most advanced deep space exploratory vessel. The ship had been drifting at the edge of the Kuiper Belt for 3 weeks now, conducting routine scans of distant celestial bodies. Despite the importance of their scientific mission, Voss couldn't help feeling restless. 15 years of space exploration had yielded fascinating discoveries, but nothing that fundamentally changed humanity's understanding of their place in the cosmos. "Captain, I'm picking up something unusual," said Lieutenant Maya Chen, the ship's communications specialist. Her fingers danced across her console with practiced precision. "It's a signal, unlike anything in our database." Voss moved to Chen's station. Her interest piqued. "What kind of signal?" "It's encrypted, but doesn't match any human protocols. The pattern is too regular to be natural cosmic noise." Chen's eyes widened as she adjusted her scanner settings. "Captain, I think it's artificial." "You're saying it's alien?" Voss asked, her voice steady despite the implications. First contact had always been a theoretical possibility, but in decades of space exploration, humanity had found no evidence of intelligent extraterrestrial life. "I can't confirm that yet, but—" Chen trailed off, focused intently on her work. "The signal is coming from an object approximately 2 light hours from our position. It appears to be a beacon of some kind." Commander Raj Patel, Voss's second-in-command, joined them at the communication station. "Could be a probe from Earth that went silent years ago." "No," Chen said firmly. "I've cross-referenced with all known Earth missions. This doesn't match anything in our records." Voss made her decision instantly. "Plot a course, maximum safe speed. Let's see what we're dealing with." The Horizon's engines hummed to life as the ship changed direction, moving toward the mysterious signal. The crew worked with focused efficiency, preparations underway for what might be humanity's first encounter with alien technology. 6 hours later, the Horizon approached a small, metallic object floating silently in the void. Barely 10 meters across, its surface was covered with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and change when viewed from different angles. "Definitely not human design," Dr. Victor Novak, the ship's chief scientist, stated as they observed the object on the main screen. "Those materials, I've never seen anything like them." "Any sign of defensive systems?" Voss asked. "None that we can detect," replied Security Chief Daniels. "It appears passive." Voss nodded. "Bring it aboard. Maximum containment protocols." As the retrieval team worked to secure the alien beacon in the ship's heavily shielded research bay, Chen continued attempting to decode the signal. Hours passed with little progress until Chen suddenly called Voss to the communications lab. "Captain, I've made a breakthrough," Chen said, excitement and concern battling in her voice. The encryption was complex, but there was something almost familiar about its mathematical foundation. "I've managed to translate portions of the data stream." "What does it say?" Voss asked. Chen displayed the translated text on the main screen. "Con TENNENT PYROTOCOL 8-17. Human expansion reaching critical THRIS OLD. Implementation of technology suppression phase gamma authorized. Subjects showing abnormal advance in the interactions in quantum computing and faster than light theory. Agents in primary research facilities instructed to redirect focus." Voss read the message twice, her blood running cold. "This can't be real." "There's more," Chen said grimly, bringing up another translated segment. "Council directive. All monitor stations in Seoul system maintain COVRT status. Recent human detection of anomalous energy signature near Europa, Nice societies, minimum alteration team deployment. Reminder: that Earth remains classified as illegal to contain in an empty world. Their war potential and adaptive capabilities exceed safe parameters, but genetic harvesting operations continue to yield exceptional common specimens. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. If these messages were authentic, then humanity was not alone in the universe, and worse, they were being watched, manipulated, and exploited. Keep working on the translations, Voss ordered. I want everything you can get from that beacon. Over the next 12 hours, more messages emerge, painting a disturbing picture. An organization called the Galactic Council had been monitoring Earth for centuries, deliberately hampering human technological development whenever it threatened to advance too quickly. The Council feared humanity's potential for rapid innovation and adaptation, yet simultaneously harvested human genetics for their aggressive traits and problem-solving abilities. Voss called an emergency meeting with her senior officers to discuss their findings. If these translations are accurate, she began, pacing the conference room, then everything we thought we knew about human history and technological development has been manipulated by an alien confederation. The evidence is compelling, Dr. Novak admitted. The beacon contains references to specific human research projects that mysteriously lost funding or encountered insurmountable technical problems. My own work on quantum entanglement communication was shut down 3 years ago for reasons that never made sense. Commander Patel leaned forward. But why? If these aliens are so advanced, why not just conquer Earth outright? According to the data, Chen explained, the Council operates on containment rather than conquest. They identify species with high adaptive potential and limit their development while exploiting their unique traits. The references to genetic harvesting concern me most. Dr. Lena Kowalski, the ship's medical officer, interjected. There are mentions of abductions dating back centuries. Humans taken for study, experimentation, and as soldiers in conflicts against other species. Voss's jaw tightened. We need to get this information back to Earth immediately. When they attempted to transmit their findings through the ship's quantum communication array, however, they encountered only static on all channels. Something's jamming us, Chen reported, confusion clear in her expression. Even the emergency frequencies. Before Voss could order another attempt, the ship's proximity alarms blared. Unidentified vessel approaching at high speed, announced the sensor operator. It's massive, at least 30 times our size. On the main view screen, a vast ship appeared, unlike anything they had ever seen. Sleek and predatory, it gleamed with a metallic blue-green sheen, strange luminescent patterns flowing across its hull. We're being hailed, Chen said. Voss straightened her uniform. Put it through. The screen changed to show a humanoid figure with iridescent silver skin and large almond-shaped eyes. Its features were almost human, yet distinctly alien, with no visible hair and an unnaturally symmetrical face. This is Overseer Selnak of the Galactic Council Enforcement Division. The alien announced in perfect, unaccented English. You have intercepted restricted communications and acquired Council property. Power down your vessel and prepare for boarding. Your memories will be adjusted, and you will be returned to your designated exploration zone. Voss felt a surge of defiance. This is Captain Ilara Voss of the Earth vessel Horizon. We are on a peaceful exploration mission in our own solar system. We do not recognize your authority to board our ship. The alien's expression remained neutral. Your species is under Council protection and observation. You have encountered information beyond your permitted knowledge threshold. Compliance is not optional. Voss cut the transmission with a sharp gesture. Battle stations. I'm not letting them take this ship or erase what we've discovered. The Horizon was primarily a research vessel, but like all long-range human ships, it carried defensive capabilities. As the massive Council ship approached, Voss knew they couldn't win in direct combat, but surrender wasn't an option. They're activating what appears to be a tractor beam, reported the tactical officer. Voss's mind raced through possibilities. Prepare the prototype jump drive. Chief Engineer Torres looked alarmed. Captain, that's only for emergency use. It hasn't completed final testing in cold. If these aliens board us and erase our memories, Earth will never know what's happening. Voss interrupted firmly. This qualifies as an emergency. As the alien vessel projected its energy beam toward the horizon, Voss gave the order. Jump now. The experimental drive engaged with a tremendous surge of energy. Stars on the view screen stretched into lines of light, and a blinding flash engulfed the bridge. The ship shuddered violently, throwing crew members against consoles and walls. When the chaos subsided, the alien vessel was gone. So were the familiar stars of the outer solar system. Damage report, Voss called out, picking herself up from the floor. Multiple systems damaged but functional, Torres reported. The jump drive is offline. We won't be able to use it again without major repairs. Where are we? Voss asked, turning to the navigation station. Lieutenant Park checked the stellar positioning system, disbelief showing on his face. Captain, we're in orbit around Mars. Somehow we've jumped all the way back to the inner solar system. Voss looked at the data they had gathered, proof of humanity's manipulation by forces beyond their knowledge. Her jaw set with determination. Set course for Earth, she ordered. It's time our people learned the truth. The horizon turned toward the blue planet shimmering in the distance, carrying a secret that would forever change humanity's understanding of their place in the cosmos, and ignite a rage that had been building, unknown, and suppressed, for centuries. When the horizon approached Earth's orbital control zone, they were immediately flagged for unscheduled return and ordered to dock at High Orbit Station Alpha. As they completed docking procedures, Voss made a crucial decision. Download all beacon data to separate secure tablets, she instructed Chen. Distribute them among the senior officers. Trust no one until we know who's been compromised. Admiral Helena Wu was waiting when they disembarked. Tall and imposing with silver-streaked black hair, she had a reputation for absolute integrity and brilliant strategic thinking. Captain Voss, she said, her expression neutral. Your mission wasn't scheduled to return for another 4 months. Care to explain? Admiral, we need to speak privately, Voss replied. What we discovered changes everything about humanity's place in the universe. As they walked toward a secure conference room, Voss noticed subtle movements from security personnel throughout the station, positioning that seemed more like containment than protection. Something's wrong, she whispered to Patel, who nodded almost imperceptibly. Just as they reached the conference room, Admiral Wu received a message on her comm unit. Her expression hardened as she read it. Captain Voss, I've just been informed that you've brought unauthorized alien technology aboard this station. Your entire crew is to be placed under quarantine immediately pending investigation. Voss met the Admiral's gaze directly. With respect, Admiral, I need to know something first. She paused, then asked, what was the name of the project you and my father worked on at Europa Station before it was mysteriously defunded? Wu's eyes narrowed. What does that have to do with? Just answer the question, Admiral, Voss insisted. It was a test. Her father had often spoken of his collaboration with Wu on the Europa initiative, a project that had been inexplicably shut down despite promising results. Project Prometheus. Wu answered correctly, then added in a lower voice. Your father never believed the official explanation for the shutdown. Relief washed over Voss. Wu wasn't compromised. Admiral, we need your help. The Horizon discovered proof that Earth has been under alien observation and control for centuries. They've been suppressing our technology, manipulating our development, and harvesting our people. Wu's expression didn't change, but something flickered in her eyes. Show me. As Wu reviewed the evidence, her composure cracked slightly. This explains so many things. Projects that should have succeeded but didn't. Brilliant minds whose work was systematically undermined. She looked up at Voss. If this is true, the implications are staggering. It gets worse, Voss said grimly. I believe they have infiltrators in positions of power on Earth. The Council mentioned agents placed in key institutions. Wu's comm unit signaled again. Her face darkened as she read the message. Security teams are being mobilized to seize your ship and all data you've collected. Orders from Earth Central Command. That's impossible, Paddle said. We haven't even reported our findings yet. Unless someone already knows what you found, Wu concluded. Captain Voss, I'm placing the Horizon and crew under my direct protection. We need to move quickly. As alarms began to sound throughout the station, Voss realized the true scale of the conflict that was about to unfold. This wasn't just about revealing a truth. It was about fighting for humanity's freedom and future against an enemy that had controlled them from the shadows for centuries. The first battle in humanity's war for independence had begun. Resistance and retribution. Admiral Wu's office aboard the Mars Colonial Defense Station became the first headquarters of what would soon be called the Earth Defense Coalition. 3 weeks had passed since the Horizon's return, and in that time, a carefully selected network of trusted individuals had been assembled. Scientists, military leaders, and government officials who had shown resistance to unexplained interference in their work. Captain Voss studied the holographic display of the solar system floating above the conference table. Red markers indicated suspected Council facilities hidden throughout human territory. We've confirmed Council presence on Titan, Ceres, and in the L4 Trojan asteroids, she reported. Based on the beacon data, we believe these are monitoring stations, but the facility on Europa is something else entirely. Dr. Victor Novak, who had been analyzing the alien technology from the beacon, pointed to the ice moon. The energy signatures there match what we've identified as their genetic processing facilities. I believe that's where they're taking humans for harvesting. The word hung in the air, heavy with implications. Admiral Wu's expression hardened. Our intelligence suggests at least 2,000 people disappear under mysterious circumstances each year. Many are written off as accidents, suicides, or runaways. If even a fraction are being taken by the Council, then we're talking about tens of thousands of humans used as biological resources over recent decades alone, completed Dr. Kowalski. The medical data we've extracted suggests they're particularly interested in our neurological patterns related to adaptability and combat response. Commander Lai Wei, head of Mars Defense Forces and one of Wu's most trusted officers, leaned forward. What about infiltrators on Earth? Have we identified any Council agents? Chen, who had been working with a team of cryptanalysts to decode more of the beacon's data, brought up a new display. We've developed an algorithm to identify potential infiltrators based on career patterns, decision-making, and communication signatures that match Council protocols. The results are concerning. The display showed hundreds of positions across Earth's governments, major corporations, and research institutions flagged as high-probability Council assets. The director of the Global Science Initiative, 3 Supreme Court justices, the CEO of Quantum Dynamics Industries, Voss read aloud. People we thought were driving humanity forward were actually holding us back. We can't move against them all at once, Wu cautioned, not without exposing ourselves prematurely. We need more than just algorithmic suspicions. We need proof that will convince the general population. Voss nodded, which is why Operation Lighthouse is our priority. If we can capture the Europa facility intact, we'll have all the proof we need. The plan for Operation Lighthouse had been developed meticulously over the past 2 weeks. A strike team led by Voss and Commander Lai would infiltrate the Council facility on Europa under the guise of a routine ice mining survey. Their objective: secure the facility and extract both physical evidence and data that would irrefutably prove the Council's manipulation of humanity. The operation launched 3 days later from the Mars station, using a civilian mining vessel refitted with advanced stealth technology derived from studying the alien beacon. As they approached Jupiter's system, tension aboard the ship was palpable. Energy dampening fields active, reported Lieutenant Zhou from the tactical station. As far as their sensors are concerned, We're just another ice mining operation. Europa's cracked, icy surface loomed ahead, its subsurface ocean hidden beneath kilometers of frozen water. According to the beacon data, the Council facility was nestled in one of the deepest crevices, disguised as natural formations. Thermal imaging shows artificial heat signatures exactly where we expected, Chen confirmed. The entrance should be 2 kilometers ahead. Voss turned to the strike team assembled in the ship's hold, 20 of the most capable soldiers and scientists in the coalition, each vetted personally by Admiral Wu. Remember, we need the systems intact. Non-lethal force where possible, but make no mistake, these aren't humans we're dealing with, despite appearances some might have. The infiltration began smoothly. The Council had grown complacent after centuries of unopposed control, and security at the outpost was minimal. Using specially designed weapons that disrupted the aliens' neural patterns without causing permanent damage, Voss's team quickly secured the entrance and outer chambers. It was as they penetrated deeper into the facility that they made the horrifying discovery. "Captain, you need to see this," Dr. Kowalski called through the comlink, her voice shaking. Voss and Commander Lee made their way to what appeared to be the central chamber of the facility. What they found there would haunt them forever. Rows upon rows of transparent cylinders filled the vast space, each containing a suspended human form. Men, women, even some children, floating in a clear solution, connected to complex machinery that pulsed with an eerie blue light. "What is this?" Voss whispered, approaching one of the containers. Dr. Kowalski was studying a nearby console, her face pale. "According to this data, they're extraction chambers. The Council is harvesting neural patterns, combat reflexes, creative problem-solving algorithms. They're extracting the very traits that make humanity unique." Commander Lai moved to another cylinder, where a young woman floated unconscious. A display showed she had been there for over 3 years. "Can we free them?" "Not immediately," Kowalski replied grimly. "The system is designed to trigger termination if disconnection protocols aren't followed precisely. We need time to understand the process." But time was exactly what they didn't have. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. "We've been detected," reported Lieutenant Zhao over the comm. "Multiple Council vessels approaching from the Jovian orbit. ETA 10 minutes. Download everything you can," Voss ordered Chen and the technical team. "We need to understand what they're doing here and how to safely free these people." As Chen and her team worked frantically to extract data from the Council systems, Voss and Commander Lai prepared defenses. They didn't have the firepower to hold off a serious Council attack, but they needed enough time to secure their evidence. "Captain, look at this," Chen called out suddenly. She had accessed what appeared to be a galactic database. "It's not just Earth. There are dozens, no, hundreds of species under similar containment protocols, some for thousands of years." The display showed planet after planet, each with different species being monitored, controlled, and harvested. Some for technological innovation, others for artistic creativity, many, like humans, for combat abilities. The Council isn't just an alien government, Voss realized. It's a parasitic empire that feeds on the unique attributes of other species while preventing them from becoming threats. "Got everything I could," Chen announced, disconnecting her devices, including schematics for Council technology and locations of their other facilities in our system. They fought their way back to their ship, facing increasing resistance as Council security forces converged on the facility. Just as they reached their vessel, a massive explosion rocked the area. The facility's self-destruct sequence had been triggered. "We lost the physical evidence," Voss said grimly as their ship broke through Europa's thin atmosphere, pursued by 3 Council vessels. "But we gained something more valuable," Chen replied, holding up the data storage device. "The truth about their entire operation, not just in our system, but across the galaxy." The pursuing Council ships were faster and better armed, but Commander Lai had one final trick prepared. Using modified specifications from the beacon data, The Coalition engineers had developed a crude but effective countermeasure against Council targeting systems. Deploying electromagnetic pulse mines, Lai announced, activating the release. The specialized devices detonated in their wake, creating a cascade of energy that temporarily disabled the pursuing vessel's systems. It wouldn't hold them for long, but it gave the Coalition ship enough time to activate their emergency jump system, another technology adapted from studying the alien beacon. In a flash of distorted space-time, they vanished from Jupiter's orbit, reappearing near the Coalition's hidden base on Mars. The data they recovered from Europa changed everything. Not only did it provide irrefutable evidence of the Council's manipulation of human development and their harvesting operations, but it also revealed technological secrets that would allow humanity to break free from their constraints. According to these records, humans have been used as soldiers in Council wars against other species, Commander Lai reported during the emergency briefing back at headquarters. Millions have been taken over centuries, their memories altered, their bodies enhanced, and their natural combat abilities exploited. The Council fears our potential, yet covets our capabilities, Dr. Novak added. They've been deliberately stunting our technological growth while stealing our best minds and warriors. Admiral Wu studied the technical schematics Chen had extracted. With this information, we can develop countermeasures against their technology. But more importantly, we now know the locations of every Council facility in our system. The Coalition moved quickly. Using the stolen data, they developed technologies that had been deliberately kept from humanity. Advanced propulsion, energy shields, and weapons that could counter Council defenses. Within months, a secret fleet had been constructed in hidden facilities throughout the asteroid belt. Meanwhile, Chen made another crucial discovery in the Europa data: communication protocols that would allow them to contact other species under Council containment. The Mrelith of Proxima Centauri, the Vectheri of Tau Ceti. Dozens of species are at similar technological stages to us, all being manipulated by the Council, she explained. If we can coordinate with them, we could form an alliance against the Council, Voss finished. A rebellion on a galactic scale. The first contact with another suppressed species occurred 6 months after the Europa mission. Using a modified communication array based on Council technology, the Coalition established contact with the Mrelith, a highly adaptable aquatic species whose technological development had been contained for over 5 centuries. The Mrelith were initially skeptical, but the evidence provided by humanity was irrefutable. Soon, a network of communication was established between a dozen species across the nearest star systems, all victims of Council manipulation. Each shared their discoveries, their technologies, and their determination to break free from Council control. 1 year after the Horizon had discovered the alien beacon, humanity was ready to strike back. The Coalition fleet, now numbering over 100 vessels equipped with hybrid human-alien technology, gathered in the shadows of the Kuiper Belt. Their target, the Council's primary command node for the Sol system, hidden in the depths of Neptune's moon Triton. Admiral Wu addressed the assembled fleet commanders from the bridge of the flagship Defiance. For centuries, an alien power has controlled our destiny, limited our potential, and harvested our people like resources. Today, we take back our future. The battle for Triton was fierce but decisive. The Council, accustomed to dealing with isolated containment breaches, was unprepared for a full-scale, coordinated assault using their own technology against them. Within hours, the facility was secured, and with it, control over all Council operations in the Sol system. But Captain Voss, now Admiral Voss, knew this was just the beginning. The Council's influence extends across thousands of star systems, she reminded the Coalition leadership. They'll regroup and return in force unless we strike at their center of power. The data captured at Triton revealed the location of the Council's central governing complex, a massive space station orbiting a neutron star at the edge of the Orion Arm. It would take months to reach, even with their new propulsion systems, and would require coordination with all the other liberated species. Then we'll be ready, Admiral Wu declared. Humanity has always excelled at one thing above all others: uniting against a common enemy. The call went out across the newly established communication network linking the former containment species. Each responded with their own vessels, technologies, and unique abilities. The Mrelith contributed their advanced biological computing systems. The Vectheri provided their unparalleled stealth technology. Humanity offered what it had always excelled at: tactical innovation and fierce determination. 6 months later, the combined fleet of formerly suppressed species converged on the Council's central command station. The Council, arrogant in their assumed superiority, had never faced a united opposition. Their defenses, while formidable, were designed to deal with isolated rebellions, not a coordinated attack from multiple species using their own technology against them. Admiral Voss led the primary assault team that breached the station's central chambers, where they finally confronted the true leaders of the Council, not the silver-skinned humanoids they had encountered before, but ancient, energy-based entities that had evolved beyond physical form millions of years ago. "You cannot comprehend what you are doing," the Council Elder communicated directly into their minds. "The containment protocols exist for the greater cosmic balance. Some species are too volatile, too aggressive to be allowed unfettered development." "You mean too threatening to your dominance," Voss countered. "You've enslaved hundreds of species, stunted their growth, and harvested their unique traits for your own benefit. That ends today." The battle that followed would be remembered across 1,000 worlds as the liberation. The Council's physical enforcers were numerous and powerful, but they faced enemies who had spent centuries evolving to overcome challenges, species that had been selected precisely for their adaptability and determination. When it was over, the Council leadership was contained using their own technology, and their vast database of accumulated knowledge was made available to all formerly suppressed species. The containment protocols were disabled throughout the galaxy, allowing each civilization to develop according to its own path. 2 years after the Horizon had first encountered the alien beacon, Captain, now Fleet Admiral, Ilara Voss stood on the observation deck of Earth's new Galactic Embassy Station. Below, the blue marble of humanity's homeworld turned serenely, unaware of how close it had come to eternal subjugation. Admiral Wu joined her at the viewport. "The Mrelith delegation has arrived, and the Vectheri ambassador wants to discuss joint expeditions to the galactic core." Voss nodded. "And the rehabilitation program. Over 10,000 humans recovered from Council facilities so far," Wu reported. "Dr. Kowalski's team has made remarkable progress in reversing the mental conditioning." Beyond Earth, humanity's ships were now exploring the stars freely, no longer constrained by artificial limitations. Research that had been suppressed for centuries was advancing at an exponential rate, bringing new understanding of the universe and humanity's place within it. "They feared us for a reason," Voss said softly, watching as a civilian transport departed Earth, bound for the newly established human colony in the Ta Ceti system. "Our adaptability, our determination, our refusal to accept limitations, these were always our greatest strengths. And now they're our greatest contributions to the galactic community," Wu agreed. The former Council species were learning to coexist as equals, each bringing their unique evolutionary advantages to shared challenges. The age of containment was over. The age of cooperation had begun. But in the darkness between the stars, Voss knew other threats might lurk. Humanity had learned a harsh lesson about their vulnerability, one they wouldn't forget. Never again would they allow an outside force to determine their destiny. They had touched the stars and found them full of danger and wonder in equal measure. But whatever awaited them in the vast cosmos, humanity would face it on their own terms, free, united, and unbowed. The rage that had fueled their liberation had transformed into something more powerful: resolve. The species that had been judged too dangerous to develop freely was now helping to forge a new galactic order based on mutual respect and shared advancement. It was, Voss reflected as Earth receded behind their departing vessel, perhaps the most human outcome possible: to take the fire of their anger and forge from it not weapons, but bridges.